Welcome. We are Cronus. Thanks to the efforts of our brave men, it had soon become a city.
Everything you have heard is a lie.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Canadian, and yes, welcome back to a series I haven't even batted an eye in a few months, which is upcoming RPG. For those of you who are new to the channel or just haven't noticed the series beforehand, these videos are made to highlight the wonderful world of RPGs and what will be added to the genre in the coming years and months. In this episode, we're going to be covering an RPG I actually did an article on quite some time ago on my old Bundicot WordPress website, which you can actually see in my brand new website, which I'll have, linked down in the description below if you want to check that out. I'll have it in the comments as well if you want to check that out, just in case. I did actually discover this game when I did my videos on Insomnia and AtmRPG, which, by the way, if you haven't played AtmRPG and you are a Fallout fan, I highly recommend going and checking out that game. I'm going to be referencing it throughout the entire video and also Fallout as well, so if you haven't played two of those games, then, get to it, play them, they're good, check them out. But yeah, when researching those games, I've always seen Encased pop up, if it's on Twitter, or if it's on just a random website, or if it's on Reddit, I'll always see the game just lingering around, and I'm always like, okay, let's add it to the list, let's cover it in a future video, and I never get around to covering it. It's weird because I cover Family Man before Encased, and Encased just suits my channel way more than Family Man. But yeah, instead of games like AtmRPG going in a primarily post-apocalyptic Fallout successor sort of direction, this game takes a more sci-fi approach. Encased is being developed by the guys over at Dark Crystal Games, who I have followed for quite some time, and they do seem very passionate about their game. Members of the team have worked on titles such as the Divinity series, Forest Village, and Leviathan: The Last Day of the Decade. All being great games, except for Forest Village, because I did hear very mixed things about that game over on Steam. But you can't really trust Steam mixed reviews nowadays, just want to say that. But yeah, the team does have quite a bit of experience behind them, which gives me hope in the game, because there has been devs in the past who I have supported who had no prior game development experience and give us, a fucking asset flip, but that's not the case here. Everything's cool, so, which makes me happy. Anyway, enough with that talk. Let's dive straight into Encased, starting with the first subject of the video, which is the story. Set in an alternate 1970s, a mysterious structure was discovered in a remote desert, which everyone simply calls the Dome. No one knows of the Dome's origins, but those have started calling the ancient civilization that left this structure behind the Forerunners. Oh no, sorry, the Forefathers. I've had Halo stuck in my head, and the both of these concepts are quite similar, so Forerunners, Forefathers, so. We play as a character who is a participant in a project researching the technology and artifacts of the Forerunner, I mean Forefathers. Once we have created our character, we are sent off to the city of Crystal Sands, which is set up outside the Dome. The Cronus Foundation is one of the main factions of the game, which was established to research and explore the mysterious structure. Cronus holds great power over the world due to what it has extracted from the Dome. Inside this new world, which you can't escape by the way, once you enter you're not coming back, lies many mysteries left for the player to find, and when we accidentally awaken an ancient power on one of our first missions in the Dome, the story will surely open up and become something quite interesting to be a part of. The story in this game does seem sort of stalkerish in a way, just by the whole going into the dark zone sort of thing, so like the second you go into this zone it's all nuclear wasteland, it has its own factions and stuff like that, basically a massive free-for-all. It's quite cool, but in this case it is a sci-fi apocalyptic world. The game's premise is very interesting, I must admit, and I cannot wait to dive into the lore and the world's factions and Cronus as well, but I'm kinda glad they aren't just a rip-off of Vault-Tec from Fallout, which to be honest I have seen in other spiritual successor games. You always have a Vault-Tec sort of company ruining everything, experimenting on people, having deep dark secrets and shit like that. What I think pulled me into Encased even more was not actually reading the story, but in fact looking at the gameplay the developers promise. Encased is a true classic RPG, with the players being able to fully roleplay as their character, unlike many modern RPGs nowadays I feel. And with roleplaying as a character, let's start with the character creation screen at the very start of the game. Here we can customise our character and their initial attributes and skills, much like in earlier RPGs, like classic Fallout, like Baldur's Gate, and so many others. I'm going to keep saying that throughout this entire video. I'm going to be like, hey, this is like this. Hey, this is like this. Hey, this is like that. I feel like I've been doing that for the past few videos. I'm going to try and stop that. An interesting part of the character creation, which I did want to point out, was the wing your character is in. You see, in Chronos, there are 5 different wings you can choose from that will grant you different perks, and you might even be treated differently by in-game characters depending on what wing you choose. The black wing is military and security, white is for scientists and medics and researchers, blue is for engineers and technicians, silver is for upper management, so it'll probably be like a little bit more political and stuff like that, and you'll have more charisma maybe, you'll probably have more intelligence as well possibly. And then finally there is probably the more interesting wing, which is the orange one, which is more for people who want to get into the role-playing aspect of things, I would say, because this wing compromises of ex-convicts who exchange their prison sentence to become a labourer for Chronos. And don't worry, by the way, these wings do not lock you into playing a certain playstyle, but it will help those players who do wish to play a more, specific type of character. Encased is also an open world game, but I'm not quite sure if they're going to be handling this like Atom RPG, or if it's an actual open world game. Like a true open world game. I think I would prefer if they do it like Atom, because I feel like as though massive open world games only really work well if you do have the traditional over-the-shoulder third-person camera or the first-person perspectives, because in those sort of games with like a massive world, like Skyrim for example, where you can look over to a mountain and be like, hey, I can go there, you don't really have that feeling with an isometric game, so I think isometric games should probably be more like the classics instead of having that massive open world, because you can't really see that massive open world in a way, Crafting and managing your gear is also a huge part of the game, with the player having the ability to craft weapons, armour, and even upgrading them using mysterious artifacts that can be found in old forefather facilities. I was about to say Forerunner there, yeah, I held myself back. Turn-based combat is also featured with the ability to do things like take cover, use different weapon and ammo types, and even place traps. The combat works similar to, again, I apologise for this, like Fallout 1 and 2, but it does look like a solid system in my opinion. Also, judging from the concept art, we're going to be fighting, a good variety of enemies ranging from the standard Mad Max style bandits, a Wasteland 2 style robot, to a synthetic looking ape with like a massive hammer that honestly does remind me of the chieftains from Halo. Bunch of Halo references in this video, quite surprising for an RPG game like this. Fighting against strange enemies won't be the only thing taking up your time in the Dome, as this new world offers a bunch of friendly faces for the player to interact with. The player can join or interact with a good amount of factions in the game. Factions like the New Committee, Republic of Carmine Heights, like some sort of church with like a weird religion, Raiders of Phalanx, I'm going to call it Phalanx, and the, oh for fuck's sake, Kshatriya, Military Order. Fuck's sake, I do this every fucking video, man. All these factions can be helped out or completely obliterated by the player, which just makes me so happy. If you watch my streams, you probably understand why that makes me so happy. Companions can also be picked up along the way, either if it's from a quest line, or the player hiring or threatening an NPC. These companions can help the player in fights and will travel with you across the world of Encased. Hopefully they can serve as like a travelling caravan as well, so that means if I have a bunch of missile launchers and shit like that, or miniguns, or power armour, I can be like, hey, I can't be arsed carrying this, can I just give this back to you? And he'll be like, but you're giving me more, I already have my max capacity. I'm like, well guess what, you're going past your max, mate, that's what's happening. There is so much more Encased has to offer, like from things like gladiator matches, player reputation, choice and consequences, and so much more. I'm going to be honest, I'm very much looking forward to this game because of how much it actually offers the player, and I hope they live up to these promises. Interacting and meddling with factions should be so much fun, because if you guys have watched me play New Vegas, you all know how much I like to meddle in people's business, if you get what I mean, if you catch my drift. Do you catch my drift? As in, I like to kill a lot of the factions, as in I like to disturb their businesses and stuff like that. That's what I kind of like to do in these games. So that was Encased RPG. What do you guys think about it? Will you be picking it up when it launches later this year? Let me know down in the comments below. I really want to know what you think. If you're a Fallout fan, let me know what you think. I do want you guys' opinions. comment down below. Just do it. Just do it. I want to read your comments. Just fucking do it already. Special thanks, my brilliant wee patrons, Cat G, Proxy1, Devil, and TJ Monster for your continued support over on my Patreon. Thank you guys so much. I do really appreciate it. But yeah, that was Encased RPG. Fun game. I cannot wait to, dive into more of it. There was a Kickstarter ages ago, and I wish I could have supported it because the game just looks so promising. I do like games like this. I've been getting more into the older style of games, like isometric views and classic survival horror games and stuff like that. So I really do want to get a sort of classicer game, but in modern times. That's why I've been looking at more of those sort of games recently. So I cannot wait to dive into Encased. I really hope it does deliver on what it promised. And also this game, by the way, I didn't mention this before, this game does have about 25 to 30 hours of playtime, so that's around about the exact same playtime as the Outer Worlds. So yeah, there's that. And yeah, that's all I really have left to say. So thank you guys for watching the video. I do hope you enjoyed. And again, leave a comment down below on what you think. Thank you guys so much for watching. And that was me. Bye-bye.